This is your weekly trip to paradise, Louisiana style, with Gary Risponi. Paradise, Louisiana is also brought to you by Baton Rouge Coca-Cola Bottling Company, Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change, CCA Louisiana, and the CCA Louisiana Star Tournament, IMCO, and by Farm Bureau Insurance.
Welcome to Paradise, Louisiana. Here we are, the first day of April we taping. It's our first show in April. A lot of things going on, and it's unbelievable. You know, they always say March winds bring April showers, and bring flowers. But I'm going to tell you what, you will not understand the wind has been blowing. Sometime at night, this all times. I'm talking about gusts of 50, 60 miles an hour. But when it stops, my Lord, when people can get to the bridges, they are catching fish. These captains are on Facebook all over, catching fish, bringing people in for the holidays. Easter holiday, I heard reports where people were there, besides the religious part of Easter. Thank you again, Jesus. Thank you for salvation. Thank you. All the other religions that pay honor to God and His mercy. Now, this week, I'm by myself, but Jason been taking a lot of video. Jason had something this morning. Poor thing, I don't know how he does it. He runs, and he's a lot younger, but if I'd have wanted, he'd have been here. I told him, to Jason, you got that video we didn't use from last week? They were on Lake D'Arbonne with Night on the Lake, with Bryce Knight. So we're going to visit that. We might get a chance to visit Chaz. I got a fishing report. I got a couple of tournament reports, but I'm going to hold them because I'm going to just run it. I don't want to keep running them and y'all seeing it. I know we like to talk about it. We like y'all to see what the kids are doing, but some people don't. I'm having a little trouble on social media. I'm not getting the numbers I want. I've been talking to people that know about social media. I don't know that much about it. My social media guy is up in the central part of the state. He does put things. Chris puts it on YouTube. We have some following on YouTube, but Facebook, some of the other shows are whipping our butt. I'll take suggestions, but I do know that a lot of people my age and around that age are still going to find it on TV and still watch it. We on Pelican all over. They're streaming. We on Cox 4. We on all these small cable companies around the state. AT&T, U-Verse. We on all them channels. You can just find us, and you can watch it. And it comes on multiple times. Pelican Studios, I mean, they run in, whether it's streaming, you know, whether they're in Lafayette, Lake Charles, wherever they are, Morgan City, they run us 3 or 4 times a week. So I'm going to beg, this is spring, I'm ready to spring forward. I'm ready to make a little money. You're watching Paradise, Louisiana. Stay tuned. I think we're going to have an interesting show.
I've been asking him to change the oil for months now, and he never did. So I finally just went to Benny's. They even washed my car for free. And you know what? It was amazing. Yeah, I left Benny's and got home before Rob even knew I was gone.
Benny? Who the heck is Benny?
As members of a Touchstone Energy cooperative, we've all got a job to do. And the more we work together, more we save. That's the power of your co-op membership.
Demco, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
For the thirsty, for those who hang out in packs, for heroes, for sidekicks, for those who see the glass half empty, for those who see it half full, for those on the right, for those on the left, for those with nicknames, for those with curves, for people that cycle, for people that recycle, for BFFs, for frenemies, for those with style, for lovers, for families, for big families, for everyone.
This is Don Dubuque asking you to join me as a member of the Coastal Conservation Association. For 30 years, CCA has worked in Louisiana to conserve our incredible fisheries, making sure that our fishing is great today and for generations to come. Whether looking out for redfish and specks, eliminating gill nets, building reefs across the coast, or work at the state capitol and in D.C., CCA is doing what's best for the fish and the sport we love so much. Your $30 membership will ensure that this work and our great fishing endures well into the future. Go to ccalouisiana.com and join CCA today.
Definitely take that. Out here targeting speckled trout on the bridge, but we will start another trestle day with a flat daddy. See if we can catch a little bit of everything today. Good trout, good trout. That's a good one. That's a good one there, baby. Alright, so what I'm going to talk about today, as we get into the peak of the spring, I usually try to stay off the trestle and just do other things as it gets real crowded out here. But if I see a day where they're calling for like 100% rain, most of the time it can't rain all day. You're gonna have gaps, and I like to fish in between those gaps because it's gonna keep the boats off of here. And boat pressure, when these fish are here, boat pressure is probably the key ingredient to whether you're gonna have a really aggressive morning by the fish or not. And the least amount of boats, the better. And when they're calling for 100% rain, you rarely see boats out here. And I got this bridge all to myself. And that's a beauty right there, using the pinfish X shad. We'll talk about that in a minute. All right, I'm gonna put a fresh pinfish on there. The reason we made this color, now it's not too terribly common for people using live pinfish here in Louisiana, but when we go to Florida, it's a very well-known lure there, or live bait they use there. So we tried to paint one with the X shad to make it look as close to a pinfish as you can, and when you put that on that golden eye screw lock, it really comes to life. Looks good. Beautiful purple colors on it. Fantastic bait. I know big speckled trout really like to eat pinfish, and might as well make one that looks like it. put the hook on that one. Put a lot of weight back on it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, baby. Oh, he's peel and drag. Peel and drag. Come on up here. Get on up. Not a monster, but a solid fish. Solid fish. Put that brand new pinfish on there. She chomped her down. Telling you guys, these fish, I know they like pinfish, but even if they don't, they like this color. I've made a lot of good dockside TVs catching big trout like this on that pinfish X-shad. All right, whenever you're fishing in between storms, you know, I'm not saying that's the safest thing to do. You definitely don't want to make long boat rides. Some of these storms we have popping up on us today are pretty strong, but here on the trestle and the other bridges, if you're gonna do it, this is a great place to do it, as you always have a place to hide out if one approaches you and runs you off the lake. You know, you could, oh, that was him. You could always run the Irish Bayou, or if you're on the north end, run back to Eden Isles. You could, you know, run to the Chef, run to the Wrigley's. You can get away from it pretty easy. You know, just pay attention to your radar. Keep your eyes peeled. Got kind of some dark clouds to my north, you know, so if I have one pop up on me hard to the north, instead of running into it, I would simply just hide out on the south shore of one of the boat launches or somewhere rather than run right into it. But it keeps the boats off the water. The fish are typically relatively, you know, they're aggressive. When you have a lot of storms, it means the pressure's low. It's dropping, creating these storms in the atmosphere. You know, like today, just because we got storms all around, there's a little loon pops up right there. We got storms all around. It's slick calm with a perfect, just really lazy falling tide. Just some really good conditions right here. And, you know, a lot of days I like to just come out here and catch a few. It don't have to be a really long day, you know. Now granted, if you're coming from a long distance trailing a boat, I understand it's hard to sacrifice a day when they're calling for 100% rain, but if you're close by, you just keep watching that radar and you go when you can. Make sure you got like a 2-hour gap, and sometimes you can have two of the best hours of fishing that you could ask for in that little gap. I know we're in a good area right now to target and make a few casts in, as there's just a tremendous amount of loons around me today. I wish I had more time to fish, but it's been nice to get out here, a little gap. Came right to the south end to give it a try, and loons are all over the place. Looks good, and they're biting a little bit, nothing crazy. But you always want to, it's always a good sign, shall I say, when you have the loons popping up. That's them birds, they'll stick their heads and they'll look down underneath the water surface, and they're fishing just like we are. There he is, right in time. Come on up here. All right, go ahead and end it on that one. Probably could have put a nice little box together, but these storms are getting a little bit too close for my comfort. We're gonna hightail it out of here, get home before we catch the wet ace. But the big trout are out here. They're eating the pinfish X-shad. Make sure to subscribe to the monthly bait box. Get your hands on this fabulous color. Make sure to come out here. And if you do have the opportunity to sneak in between storms, don't be afraid to do so. Whoa. Hope you enjoyed this episode, guys. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Till next time, good fishing. Come out here and fish Lake Pontchartrain.
As members of a Touchstone Energy Cooperative, we've all got a job to do. And the more we work together, the more we save. That's the power of your co-op membership.
Demco, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
So what are you going to do with the speckled trout? That's right. There's just no doubt about it that this is a place where food is created differently from anywhere else in the world because it just couldn't happen anywhere else. We're a culture made up of so many different people, love of ingredients, love of cooking styles, and they all right here. At the end of the day, that's all Baton Rouge.
This is Don Dubuque asking you to join me as a member of the Coastal Conservation Association. For 30 years, CCA has worked in Louisiana to conserve our incredible fisheries, making sure that our fishing is great today and for generations to come. Whether looking out for redfish and specks, eliminating gill nets, building reefs across the coast, or work at the state capitol and in D.C., CCA is doing what's best for the fish and the sport we love so much. Your $30 membership will ensure that this work and our great fishing endures well into the future. Go to ccalouisiana.com and join CCA today.
I've been asking him to change the oil for months now, and he never did. So I finally just went to Benny's. They even washed my car for free. Uh-huh. And you know what? It was amazing. Yeah, I left Benny's and got home before Rob even knew I was gone.
Benny? Who the heck is Benny?
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana. A quick tournament rodeo report. And most of the tournaments that have been going on right now, Saturday tournaments, but the high schools have been so high. I promise y'all, I try to report them. They come with a list. They got over 100 boats. At Caney Lake and that Big Bass Challenge, whatever, man, there was over 100 boats in the high school division. Over 100 boats. You imagine these kids out there fishing and the top weights. I'm going to just name the top three, and you can see it if he's running on the screen. If not, Tommy Abbott's coming here the 1st of May. He's going to bring all the totals. He's going to tell you how the season went and what's coming up. So he's going to be our guest one of the first weeks in May. He's just so busy. He's wrapping up the season right now, and he's sending them all over. A lot of these kids going to be going to nationals, so let's congratulate them. And let me read this real quick. In the high school division, let me tell you this now. First place was Patrick Fullerton and Joey Dawson. They had 17.82 pounds. They were from Bossier Parish High School. Second was Port Barry High School with Barrett Fontenot and Braxton Spurrier. And third was Alexander Senior High School was Nicholas England and Tyler Medica. They had 15 pounds. They had a lot of people from 12 pounds on. They had a lot of big fish. Now, the big fish They had a 672, a 625, and a 728. 728 was Joshua Burrow and Brendan Storms. Now, the junior division at the Bossier Parish was Joshua Coleman and Seth Franklin. So let me pull them up, and I'm going to read the top six real quick. They're both Joshua Goldman and Seth Farrer. They were first. Buckeye Juniors, Jake Lockett and Cade Branton. Junior Southwest Bassmasters was the third. It was Brody Wolf. Levi Shockey. Homer Christian was juniors. Was London Graybear and Jane Bouquet. And then Southwest Louisiana Juniors was anglers Brady Stanley and Jackson Longquist. Their weights were, a lot of them were over right at 9, 10 pounds, so that was a good, tremendous week. Just remember, I'm going to show you that when we get Tommy Abbott here. Now, and forget that, I'm going to put it down. I'm ready. We're going to go straight into the fishing report. Berkeley Abu Garcia fishing report. I hope that Chris got to show some of the fish that are being caught in the Lake Pontchartrain area, Biloxi Marsh, and all in those areas they're catching fish. I'm getting reports even offshore, but when they get out. Now, Venice has not been sending me a lot of reports, but a lot of reports coming from Carter's, Thomas and them over there, and all them guys that are right now, when the weather's, they got these people coming in from all over the country. They're on Facebook. They're killing the fish. They tell you what they're biting on and what it is. So my personal hearsay right now, I'm going to go saltwater is Captain Mike Brantley again, his daddy Larry. I think he had some pretty famous people with him in the boat. And this ain't the first time they're going out there. But they had U.S. Congressman Troy Carter, Cedric Richmond, had Judge Ryan Scholes and his son Little Ryan, and look at this catch. This is in the Lake Pontchartrain. They had flounder, they had redfish, they had some monster specks, live shrimp under a slip cork. And I remember fishing with Dudley years ago, and people would be watching me. They followed Dudley, and he was so kind. He'd give them baits, what he was biting on, and the Dudley baits and whatever. And he'd go show them, but he'd have to show them. Didn't have a bunch of them. It was a sliding cork. He'd tell them how to get it, but they're not fishing. They're fishing 8, 10, 12 foot of water. They're not fishing 3 foot down. You might catch one every now and then, something will pass, but the slip cork is the trick right now. So the word is out. All the captains I've talked to, all the legendary captains, that's what they're doing. So thank you to Mike. Mike has some. I called him before I got on the show. I called him. I said, "You sent me something?" Yeah. He said, "I sent you my daily report." I said, "What about yours?" He said, "I sent you my daily. That's pretty stringing, but I'm catching fish right now. Let me get off the phone. I'm catching fish. We want to catch them for the wind pickup." That's the story. The wind, but you get around now. Other saltwater places, Fouchon, Catfish Lake, some of them old legendary places. Cocodrie. I ain't talked to Gary Cross, but I know some people that got camps. They've been going down there. Redfishers are constant everywhere you talk about. Island Marina, all their captains, they catching redfish. And when they can get to the bridges, they catching big specks. Not little specks, big specks. So that fishing report, I'm going to leave the saltwater now. I remind y'all again, Venice is good. Go saltwater, go to freshwater, Toledo Bend. Lotto, I'm starting to get a few living different, not a lot, okay? No, I'm not getting a lot from there. Lake Concordia, False River, catfish, and even sac-a-lait. People are fishing the piers, and they what you call it, flip it or slinging it in there. J.B. Salter made that famous with his thing. They stay slinging them under the piers. They catching sac-a-lait. I'm hearing different colors. I hear in blue and white, and I'm hearing a shad color. All right, and shiners. Don't forget shiners. I talked to my boys that have been in the Lake Verret area and Stephenville, and they catch them on the shiners. They going bass fishing early, and they going catch some sac-a-lait. He promised in first week in May, he's going to take me and Joe Mack. Him and Joe Mack got a big history of catching fish in the Stephenville, Lake Verret area, making those runs. So those places are still hot. Lake Verret right now, still the hottest thing. Besides sac-a-lait, catfish. 2.5 foot, 3 foot, night crawlers, worms, undercork. Some people even catch them on stink bait, you know, liver, whatever. I'm not big on that, but he got night crawlers is always the best thing I use, and we waiting on the brim run. Where the brim at? They're gonna start bedding up all over the trees and Lake Verret on both sides. Wherever you get up in them trees, if the wind gets better, you find us with not my buddies would get out, have a can of worms on their side or a cricket box, and they get out and wade in them trees. You see a lot of snakes, but they're not gonna hurt you. It might make you hurt yourself, but they ain't gonna hurt you. Because these snakes are water snakes. Diamondback water snakes, they fall out of the tree, felt like a limb fell. But they stay in that part of the lake. I used to go with Mr. Kelly Falcon, and he did the shows a couple times when he was catching poison snakes, all the snakes. He would catch them and sell them to all the snake places down in La Place. So that's how they would do it. Now, that freshwater report, waiting on the spillway, somebody said they caught a few in the Grand River Flats now. But the best report I got right now is, if you know, on the other side, Patch Bay and Bay Natchez. Tell me one more time. Same thing with JB told me, but I had friends call. I went to Tony's. I talked to Greg over there and getting my crawfish, getting ready for Good Friday. Craig, Patch Bay, Bay Natchez. One more time, Patch Bay, Bay Natchez. Thank you, Jesus. God bless Louisiana. God bless these guys here at Pelican. Keep me on the air. Don't forget, if you got somebody who wants more information, or you can tell me how I can get my numbers up, email me, Gary at Paradise, Louisiana. Thank you, Marty. Thank you, Alan. See y'all next week. Good Lord willing. See y'all next week.
Paradise, Louisiana is also brought to you by Baton Rouge Coca-Cola Bottling Company, Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change, CCA Louisiana, and the CCA Louisiana Star Tournament, IMCO, and by Farm Bureau Insurance.